One of my most anticipated and most played games this year has to be Arc System Works' newest game, Dragon Ball FighterZ. While I've played traditional fighting games before like Skullgirls, Soul Calibur 2 with my dog, Mario Kart 8, and Street Fighter 2, I've never been so mesmerized by these games until FighterZ. The game's art style and animation is incredible. The fighting is so crisp and so much fun to play, and it's easy to get into with auto combos, but because of assist, shield pressure, custom combos, team building, and mind games has an incredibly high skill ceiling. And after trying to make a decent team, and then playing the only character, and finally giving up all hope at me being decent when my only options are a keyboard and a Nintendo Switch Pro controller, I switched to 3 bald boys dressed in pink and officially titled them the Spice Boys. While playing the game, I got interested in learning more about the characters that weren't in the original Dragon Ball Z series. So I got a group of my friends and we all sat down and watched the entirety of Dragon Ball Super in 1 month. After watching Dragon Ball Super, I got a couple things out of it. Hit is wild, Xeno's the best, and the final fight goes really well with the slider theme from Mario 64. But something clicked in my head. It was something that was missing, specifically on the lead member of the Spice Boys. Krillin doesn't have any white in his eye. He's also missing a nose. Krillin is like an enigma. Trying to understand how Krillin works is like trying to figure out how to work a printer. I just don't understand! The easiest question we can answer about Krillin's nose is, how can he smell? Well, he can't. In episode 20 of the original series Elimination Round, Krillin has to fight Bacterian, whose power is smelling like... Oh, I didn't write a joke there. There's no joke. Krillin is getting beat like a child with an angry father until Goku gives him some wise advice.
You know your nose. You don't have one. How can you breathe? How did you think you could smell them in the first place? You doofus. God, I hate you. I hate you and your stupid bald head. I wish I could just rip it off and roll it down a bowling alley.
And then Krillin's like, ka-chow, bang, boom, and just like that, he killed him. He's dead. But I think we can go deeper on this nose thing. You see, Krillin is really good at getting absolutely clapped, like when a pilot lands an airplane. So maybe he lost his nose during one of those encounters, or some tragedy when he was a child. However, this isn't the case because of the legendary move in Krillin's arsenal, the Sensu Bean. If a Sensu Bean can heal the damage of Yamcha getting impaled, then the Sensu Bean can heal a damaged nose. And I don't know if you noticed, but his nose is missing like my Blue Eyes White Dragon that my friend Jim stole in 2nd grade, you massive! Using this information, we know it has to be a birth defect with Krillin. Going even deeper, Cell is a combination of all the best traits of the Z Fighters, but Cell clearly has a nose, so obviously his lack of nose is not advantageous. But just because there's no advantages to the nose does not mean that it's not a bad thing. There were many opportunities with Shenron where Krillin could have finally wished for his nose and been able to smell, but he's never taken the time to finally get one, so clearly it doesn't seem like it's a high priority to get fixed. Obviously he's perfectly fine with breathing through his mouth, right?
If he breathed through his mouth.
We are all under the assumption that since he doesn't have a nose, he has to breathe through his mouth. But according to Akira Toriyama, this isn't the case. In an interview by, company, the interviewer asked about Kuririn's nose, in which Akira Toriyama, staring at the interviewer like he would an intimate lover, said, "Kuririn has a physical idiosyncrasy that allows him to breathe through his skin." Now, if you're like me and you're an idiot-syncrasy, you don't know what that word means. Basically, it means he has a treat that lets him breathe through his skin! Can we talk about this? Like, ignoring the question of how does he swim without drowning, he has probably the strongest power in the whole series. He can sigh without opening his mouth, he can breathe without looking like he's breathing. If someone blocks his mouth, he can still breathe, he just can't talk. So today we learned that Krillin, despite his 2H, is the strongest fighter in all of anime and video game history. His unique trait has brought him through thick and thin, and he's still going strong, and at this point can take on anything anyone throws at him. But what if he had a gun? Oh, we forgot to put a name pun. So now it just says the interview asked about Kuririn's nose, in which Akira Toriyama name pun stared at him.